Hello students, today in this video we are going to do some more modal auxiliaries or modal verbs. This is video part number 4 of modals, and earlier we have discussed many modals, that which modal is used to show which, like provision, like possibility, permission, etc. Right. So today let's start with if you want to express the provision, right. So there you can use two modals. Number one is must not, and the second one is ought not to. So to express the provision we have to use two, must not, and second one is ought not to. This must not you have to use when there is a rule and you have to follow that rule, means you are not allowed to break that rule. So in that case you have to use must not. And if a moral duty is there and there you cannot cannot be run away from the duty, so for that you have to do ought not to. Clear? So let's see first must not, use of must not in detail. This indicates that something should not be done because it's a rule, right? For example, you must not talk on the phone while driving because that's a rule and you have to pay heavy amount if you will get caught with this, that you are driving, while driving you have been talking on the phone, or you are not using helmet if you are driving without license. So there that's a rule, and for that you can use must not. Clear? Must not, I am saying, not, don't use only must. Okay, so it is must not talk on the phone while driving. Next one is we must not use our mobile phones inside a hospital. It is not advisable, right? So here also we must not use our mobile phones inside the hospital. So this is the use of must not to show the provision. Next one is use of ought not to, and this I have told you when you have to follow some duty, right? So it indicates that something should not be done because it is a duty. Clear? For example, you ought not to talk in a class. You ought not to talk in class, ought not to. Next one is you ought not to tell lies to your elders because that's your duty, a moral duty. Clear? Like you ought not to hurt your parents. Clear? So like that you have to use this ought not to and must not. Clear? Just take a screenshot of this and please note down these in your notebooks, and after that we will do the exercise related to must not and ought not to. Now let's see, the exercise is given to you, and here in this exercise you have to fill in the blanks with must not and ought not to. So your first sentence is saying you dash hurt your parents, right? And it's a duty. Once again see ought not to for duty, and for rule it is must not. So here it is duty, so what you will do? Ought not to. You ought not to hurt your parents. We dash harm public property, it's a rule, and for rule what you have to do? Must not. So must not. Next is students dash leave the classroom before the bell rings. It's again a rule, and for rule what you have to do? Must not. Next is they dash use Hindi in English class. It's a rule, and what you will do? Must not. Visitors dash pluck the flowers. Duty. So here what you have to do? Ought not to. Ought not to. Just take the screenshot of this exercise and please note down in your notebooks. Now let's see how we have to express the request. So for expressing request, we can use would, want, can and could. So let's understand first what is the use of would. This is used to make a polite request, right? More polite than will. When it's not like that, then like when you talk to your friends or your brother or a sister, so at that time you can use will. But if you have to be more polite than that, then you have to go with would. Okay. For example, would you open the window please? So that is what you are becoming more polite. Would you help me to cross the road? So here again you are becoming more polite than will. So that's the use of would. Next one is want. This is also used to make a request. And want you have something to drink? Want you have something to drink? That's what use of want. Next one is can. This is used to make an informal request. Like for example, I've given you the example of will. Will you please help me to do this? So here also it is also informal. Can I have some ice cream? Can you give me your pen? Can you note down this for me or something like that? So this is informal request. For informal request we have to use can. And the last one is could. That is used to make a polite request, but it is uncertain that whether it will be accepted or not. So it happens to you actually that sometime you request to your parents to get something from the market. If it is a small thing or can be arranged properly, so your parents actually they do not they provide you that thing. But if something costly you want to get, so they have to think also, right? So that type of request if you want to make from someone, so in that case you can use could. It's not only the parents only, it may be anyone else also. So where you are not expecting that the answer would be yes always, right? So in that case you have to use could. For example, mom, could you buy a mobile phone for me? Now here you don't know what would be the reaction of the mother. Clear? So in that case you have to use could. Means this is such type of request whether fulfilled or not. Okay, just take a screenshot of this and after that we will do exercise related to this request where we have to use would, want, can and could. So let's see exercise of this can, could, would and want is given to you. Let's see how to do. First sentence is dash you shut the door please. So when you are becoming polite, then will, you have to use would. So the answer of this question is would. Would you shut the door please? Next one is dash you have some lemonade after the tiring journey. So it's what? You are asking, you are requesting. So here you can use want. Right? Want to have some lemonade after the tiring journey? Dash I eat some peanuts. So that's an informal request. And here you will do can. Right? So can I eat some peanuts? Next one is dash you help me to do my homework as it was pending for 10 days. Now what you have to do? It's a request if you are doing to someone whether it is uncertain that he or she would do your homework, pending homework or not. So what you will do here? You will use could. So that's a polite, very polite request, whether you don't know what would be the result. So here you have to do could. So just take a screenshot of this exercise and please practice such exercises from your grammar books. And next I will give you one quick review of models, auxiliaries, that how and when to use which one. First take the screenshot of this and note down, and that table too you can note down on the last page where you have completed this exercise, the gist, I would say the essence of the models. Okay, so just take the screenshot and just be ready for that quick revision. Let's take a quick look at the models. Models or the modal auxiliaries are the verbs which are used before ordinary verbs to express permissions, possibility, ability, obligations, suggestion, request, and so on. They indicate the attitude, attention, and mood of the speaker. Words used as models are shall, will, should, would, can, could, be able to, may, might, ought to, and must. So when we have to express the ability, we have learned that we can use can, could, be able to. So can indicates ability to do something, it means to be able to, be capable of, know how to. And could suggests the ability in the past and also in journal ability. And be able to indicates the ability to do something which is more possible than can. Second is the when we have to express obligation, advice, or suggestions. So here you can use should, must, ought to. Should is used to make a suggestion or to give an advice. Must is used to suggest strong obligations, compulsions, and desire of the speaker. Also suggest necessities. Ought to conveys a sense of moral duty and suggests the right things to be done. Next one is permission. When we express the permissions, and what you have to do, first is may, can, could. So how to use may suggests permission which is more formal in nature and polite. Can suggests permission which is less formal than may. Can is informal. Could suggest permission in the past more polite than may. And the next one is possibility. Here you can use words, the models like may, might, can, and could. So may indicates the possibility which is stronger than might, in other words a good possibility. Might indicates a weak possibility, past tense of may also, and used as conditional sentences also. Can indicates the general and occasional possibility, and could, it is used when there is a weak, very weak possibility, and it is the past tense of can and used as conditional sentence also. The next one is provision. When there is provision, means if you are not allowed to do something, then you have to use must not and ought not to. So indicates, must not indicates that something should not be done because it's a rule, and ought not to indicates that something should not be done because it's a duty. And the last one is request. When you have to show the request, when you have to express the request, you can use would, want, can, and could. So let's see the use of would first. It is used to make a polite request. It is more polite than will. Want is used to make a request. Can is used to make an informal request. And the last one, could, is used to make a polite request, but it is uncertain whether it will be accepted or not. So this is all about the models, auxiliaries. Please note down this in your notebooks and please learn by heart, because that is very, very important for you people. Thank you very much. Good day.